it's Wednesday, and I went to the comic book shop to get the new Green Lantern by Grant Morrison, and the shop was fucking empty. But don't worry, comic books will never die because it's
New week of old comics.
So this week I want to look at Nameless by Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham. Grant Morrison, of course, you know from being Grant Morrison, Invisibles, Doom Patrol, Multiversity. Chris Burnham's worked with Grant Morrison on Batman Incorporated and with Robert Kirkman on Die, Die, Die. I like Chris Burnham's work a lot. I'm a big fan of Morrison, and I'm also a big fan of Chris Burnham. He does graphic stuff really well. He does violence and gore pretty good. I like the amount of sketchiness and black to his work as well. So find some gore stuff. This is a weird book. If you casually read it, it kind of doesn't make sense. But if you want answers, it's there. It's one of those kind of harder Grant Morrison books to read. It's definitely gonna have parts that go over your head because he's pulling from all kinds of theology, from like Mayan to Polynesian to Judeo-Christian, just all kinds of weird. It has that kind of that idea that's been explored in fiction before, where aliens created man. Aliens were God, you know. Aliens were here before we were here, kind of deals. So there's a cosmic horror element to it, but it's not like a Cthulhu cosmic horror. It's definitely something a bit new. People compare this to Event Horizon, which is a somewhat apt comparison, but I think it goes a little beyond something like Event Horizon, because Event Horizon is a pretty simple story to understand. Whereas this one, if you want answers, they're here as to what's going on. But that's great. That's awesome. If you want something easy to read, maybe pick something else. But it's definitely a challenging book. But I mean, if that's what you're in for, that's what you're in. That's what you're into. You should go for it. Probably not my favorite Grant Morrison work, but definitely a good one. All right, next, I recently reread Pretty Deadly. It's going to get into the rest of it. This is by Kelly Sue DeConnick, Emma Rios, Jordi Belair doing the colors. I think this is something that Jordi Belair's kind of known for, because the colors are pretty spectacular and work really well with Emma Rios's kind of, I don't want to say it's delicate, but there's a grace to her work. Emma Rios is an artist from Spain. She did some stuff with Mark Waid on a Doctor Strange run that I'd like to get my hands on. Let me know in the comments if you've read it and if it's any good, because I'd like to see this art, this style, applied to like Doctor Strange. That would be neat. Story's pretty good. It's Western, supernatural, like heavy supernatural elements. But there's kind of, I like Western stories like Sixth Gun, and I guess you could count East of West as like a Western story as well. Jonah Hex I like as well. This has some really cool characters, and it's a pretty good setup for, I guess, what's to come. I don't want to say the main character, but the kind of the cool character, the standout character. This is a character named Deathface Jenny. Who is the daughter of Death. I mean, it's a pretty interesting story, pretty interesting myth making going on. But if you like Sixth Gun, you like East of West, this is something you should look at. Finally, I thought we'd look at Complete Eightball by Daniel Clowes.
These guys know my style.
I love this collection. It's super well put together. It's kind of hard to find these days. It's look, even to the inside of the box is done up. It's expensive, but it collects 18 issues of Eightball. It has the serialized, like a Velvet Glove, cast in iron. It's serialized in these 2 volumes, like it was in the original Eightball comics, but I think I prefer to read it this way because it's probably my favorite Daniel Clowes story. So I prefer to kind of read it all together like this. Now you don't get kind of the cooler color stuff that's in the Eightball, like this cool stuff, but I still like to read it all together in one collection. It's a little bigger, it's a little bit oversized than the Eightball. So if you don't want to spend $100 and something on the, I was lucky my wife got this for me as a gift, then I definitely recommend seeking out like a Velvet Glove cast in iron. This is like, you know, $25. Yeah, $25. This is a great trip. If you're like David Lynch, like Twin Peaks, it's that kind of weirdness that you'd be in for. But if you do have the money to spend, maybe also get Complete Eightball here. It has Lloyd Llewellyn stuff. It has the Dan Pussy stuff. Devil Dolls done like a chick track. That's cool. Art School Confidential, the strip that they based the movie off of, which is, I mean, let's be honest, it's not that great of a movie. See, this stuff you can only get the color stuff. It's only in this version. Yeah, Art School Confidential, not the best movie, but a pretty good little strip inside here. It's a small story here, and they expanded it to a movie that I just don't think worked. Also, Ghost World. If you're a Ghost World fan, this is, got the serialized Ghost World stories, which you could also buy in trade form. I have that as well, but I think I like reading Ghost World in this kind of setup, this kind of interspersed with. Yeah, I love the different types of paper, the different stocks that's used. That's awesome. Comes with this little modern cartoonist, little mini comic thing, little mini pamphlet. Just all in all, a great package. But yeah, that's it for this week. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I post artwork and pieces from my graphic novel. At Plague Child. Also Instagram at Octopus Avenue. Okay.
Tonight's program has been brought to you by